So we're recording this. So let's arrange this so that we have you online, and I'll leave you too. I'll be next door.
Sounds good. Okay. Perfect. Sounds good.
So let's go ahead and get started.
Good.
I'll start with my most repeated question.
Okay. Cool. All right. I grew up loving technology ever since I was a kid. So I've been looking for a job where I can apply that love of technology and computers with helping people as well. That's why specifically I'm looking for a job that I can apply that love to helping people with their computers, because not everyone knows how computers work and how to apply them. And so I want to be able to take my knowledge and help those people with it. Sure. I've been building computers for probably 10 years now. I watched my dad build his own computer, and I was always there pushing the RAM stick in the little slot. And I just loved it. And I remember my wish on every star was to get a laptop, because I thought that was the coolest piece of technology in the world. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So what do you ask? You said like what got you into that?
Sure. So I've previously worked at my high school while I was going to high school, and while I was there, I was actually working at like the help desk. And so that was like kind of my first experience with doing IT work specifically, because before that I was just kind of building computers and kind of messing around with them at home. Yeah, pretty much. But then once I got that job, I realized that I know things that people don't regarding computers. Like, just normal users don't really know how to do certain things. And I kind of have a knack for knowing computers and how they work and being able to work with them. And so there's like a huge satisfaction that I gain from helping someone with a computer. So yeah. Sure. A lot of them were like password changes, so things that they couldn't get into their computer, and they're like, I don't know what's going on. I was like, well, let's just try your password for the first one. Finding files and stuff like that. They accidentally deleted one, but it was actually moved somewhere or something else. Folders going within folders. Other ones where their computer wasn't powering on, so I had to troubleshoot the actual hardware. And usually it's like a power supply or something like that. That was a really common one where the computers wouldn't turn on. The monitor wasn't connecting, so I had to check the cables that were plugged into it. Did some projector work as well. So people were saying, I pressed the button on the remote, projector's not turning on, whether it's the power cable or the remote batteries are dead. Yeah, absolutely. At my high school, when I worked there, we switched over from old Netgear access points to purely Ubiquiti access points. Excuse me. So I installed all those access points manually on the ceiling. I ran all the Ethernet cables from the switches that were in the ceiling as well. And then I provisioned the access points and connected them to the cloud controller that we had on site within the server. Sure. Okay. Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. Sure, yeah. Okay. And I'm thinking like, because I always have network issues and you can't remote in, so you have to talk to them over the phone. Actually, maybe that is a good one. A network issue. So, so you want me to like act like you're the client, or? So there's no connectivity on their desktop or whatever. Yep, exactly. You try opening a browser and it says cannot connect. When you open up a browser, is it when you try to go to website google.com, what does it pull up on the screen? What does the screen look like? Like homepage maybe or something? Oh, okay, for sure. Okay. If you look at your computer, the bottom left corner, all the way over there should be a little clock on the very, very bottom left corner. And if you see the little clock down there, it should have the time. Sorry, bottom right corner. Oh, okay, good. Okay. Yeah, if you look in the bottom right corner, there's the clock over there. You see that? If you go over a little bit from the clock, there's a couple other icons. One of them is a Wi-Fi icon. Do you know what a Wi-Fi icon looks like? It's like a half rainbow. It looks like a rainbow going up. There's either that one or the other icon that it could be is it looks like a little monitor with a cable going into it.
Okay.
Do you see either of those?
I got the little box.
Okay, perfect. Is there a red X or a yellow triangle next to it? There's a red X. Okay. If you click on that, there's a little menu pop open from the bottom. No connections are available. Okay. Let's go ahead on the far left side where your start menu is. Are you familiar with the start menu? Go ahead and click on that. And then is there a search bar down there in that area? Go ahead and click on that, and I'll have you type in the letters CMD. And I'll have you click enter. That should open up a command. Perfect. Yeah, so in there, I'm going to have you type something. It's ipconfig, ipconfig. And then let me know what that pulls back. Go ahead and read it off for me. Okay, the one we're looking for is, it should say Wi-Fi adapter. And then underneath that, there should be something that says IPv4. And then across the screen, there should be a couple numbers. Let me know if you find that. There's nothing that says IPv4. Okay. Go ahead and type in ipconfig, the one we just typed in. And then I'll have you click space. And then type in the / renew. And let me know what pulls that up. What is it saying?
No operation performed on wireless network. Well,
Okay. Go ahead and type in ipconfig again, and then the space, and then / all, ALL. Okay, we're gonna look for the same one, the Wi-Fi adapter, and then we're gonna look for IPv4.
I see.
Read those off one more time.
Windows IP, wireless LAN, Ethernet adapter.
The wireless LAN. Underneath that little paragraph section, do you see an IPv4 address? Do you see any words that say IPv4?
I do not.
Okay. Can you just kind of read me down the lines under the wireless LAN?
It is.
Okay, cool. Let's go back down to the Wi-Fi icon in the bottom right corner. If you click on that, that menu pops open again. There should be 3 icons right above that that says Wi-Fi, airplane mode, and something else. Do you see any icons down there? Okay. If you right-click on the Wi-Fi icon, does the menu pop up? Okay. Okay. Well, it sounds like your Wi-Fi is off. Are you on Windows 7 or 10? Are you on 7 or 10? Okay, it is 7. Yeah, okay. Okay. Oh, physically. Okay. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Because I was gonna say, because on Windows 10, there's like the Wi-Fi icon where you can turn on or off. That's where I was going for when I was asking about the buttons. I didn't think about the actual physical hardware. Windows 7. That was a good one. Oh, okay, fair enough.
Not
Sure.
um, anyway, I wanted a meeting. So, full computer install.
So in my current job, we do a lot of computer replacements, like life cycle or workstation life cycles. And so when the computer gets old, usually about 5 years, we would replace it. When we do that, we do a clean install of Windows 10 from a USB drive. And then we set up like, typical admin users. Then we take the computer on site and we kind of set it up next to the current computer and go through the software list of what they have. We move over their files and then we go down and we install each piece of software. So if it's like QuickBooks, we have QuickBooks a lot. We would just go to QuickBooks downloads and we download the version that they have, get the licensing info and put it in. So that's kind of what we do. That's a lot of the workstation installs that I've done in the past. Before. Yes. Yeah, for sure. So when I started at my high school, I was just doing the help desk. And then my boss actually left. And in the meantime, it was just me there. So they were looking for someone to kind of replace my boss. That was, I think, for about a month that I was just running the IT department by myself. So I was doing a lot of stuff that was kind of over my head, but I just kind of held on to it and kind of just troubleshooted to my knowledge until we could get someone to replace my boss. Yeah. A perfect example, there was an Access database issue, and I had never interacted with Access at all. And so what I ended up doing was, yeah, it was complicated. And it was a raffle for letting students into a class. And so what I went through is I kind of just went through, I checked our notes, and we did have some notes on Access. And so I kind of went through the notes and I went through the databases, and if they exist, I ran like some repairs on the database, stuff like that. It actually did fix the issue. I don't know how, but it did end up fixing that one in particular. Yeah. But other things that went over above my head, I told him, you know what, let me do some research. I go back to my office and do some research on the issue, if it was a SQL issue that I didn't know much about. And eventually I'd find something that would either, do a patch or a fix. And if it was a patch, then I tell him that I'd come back to it either when we had something new. So I don't, not actually at all. I did a little bit of Java, but that's about it. Yeah. I did do HTML a while back, but I don't really remember much about from HTML. So. Mm-hmm. Sure.
Let's say that I was not as kind to you.
Sure.
What's the process? What's up the customer?
Okay.
And then I'm gonna
Sure.
so,
Okay. And do you want to do it as like a role play or just tell you how
just
it would? Okay. Yeah, the main thing that I always try to remember is that they're just frustrated because something's going wrong, and they expect me to fix it. And sometimes they don't want any input on it, like they don't want to have to help, and sometimes they do want to help and they just want it fixed. So I always have to remember and put myself in their shoes and be like, I'm working and something broke, so I'm really frustrated right now. I have to call someone where normally I wouldn't have to because I can just work on it. Putting myself in their shoes really helps to open up my eyes and kind of understand, like, yeah, I'd be really frustrated if my computer just broke like that or turned off or the internet stops working. If they're yelling at me, I usually just try to keep a really calm voice. If I ever do need to blow off steam, I'll mute it, take a deep breath, release the deep breath, and just kind of slow myself down and make sure that I'm going through piece by piece from what I've kind of learned and been trained. Because if I get too overwhelmed, I'll kind of start skipping things. And just slow going, because if you kind of jump around and stuff like that, they're going to kind of get a little jumpy. So you have to just kind of keep it slow and consistent. Yeah. Okay. Not exactly a specific example, but kind of related to it, where a coworker just keeps on cutting me off when I'm trying to share ideas, or we're working on a project together, and the coworker is cutting me off and says that my ideas are stupid or dumb or not the right idea. I always try to calm myself down by taking a deep breath. That's like the biggest thing that I always try doing, because if I don't do that, then I'll get overwhelmed. And if I get overwhelmed, then I'll just start getting more frustrated. Okay. Sure, absolutely. Okay. I would say I would actually ask them to explain maybe what's going on. So like if we're on a project, let's say, and they're thinking that I'm just being stupid and they're kind of getting angry at me for trying stupid things, I would maybe stop talking, because at most part I'd probably be talking over them, and just listen to their point of view. If they're angry at me for a personal reason or something else like that, I would probably get them to talk about what's like frustrating them, because I feel if you don't talk about an issue, it's just going to keep on building on itself, especially when you kind of keep that inside of you. So I feel like communication is the biggest thing. So if you're really frustrated at me and you're yelling at me right now, I would say, hey, like, can you tell me what's going on? Like, why you're frustrated with me, why you're angry at me, so we can kind of talk about this so we can get focused back on the job or whatever it may be. Okay. Okay. I try to build on common knowledge. So with my coworkers specifically, it'd be technology and stuff like that. I've got coworkers that like doing like day trading and stuff. And so they have computer setups that they do specifically day trading. So I've actually gotten into that, and we've kind of bonded over that. Starts really small with clients specifically, making sure that they know that I understand how their workflows go about. Because although I want to have like a one-on-one communication relationship with this, person, it's as a personal, or it's as a professional level. And so I also need to know how they work so that then I can help them best. And that also impacts so that, if they ask me a question or they say, hey, this is going wrong, I can be like, oh, well, I know how you work because we've had that relationship before. Because we started off, I asked questions about their workflows and why they do what they do and where their business came from, stuff like that. So really asking questions is the best thing, and really listening to them, because I feel like a lot of times people don't listen to each other when they're saying things. They're just queuing up other things to say. And so really listening to someone speak to you, I think that they can sense that is different than some people. Mm-hmm. Okay.
None of that.
Okay.
What are you most excited about? What do you take most pride?
I think success is the thing that I enjoy most, and success within a group. If I'm on a group project and we can all figure it out on time, on budget, that's what I really enjoy doing, and making sure that that happens. The thing that I have the most enjoyment from is coming up with a process and then completing it through that process. So instead of kind of jumping around and doing other things, being like, okay, here's the plan of action and here's exactly how we're going to do it. And when we can complete the plan of action and we get the end goal on budget and on time, that's what I really enjoy doing. And that's what I really focus on doing, is making sure we're following the plan. Sure. Yeah, we were doing workstation installs actually. Me and my coworkers. I had 2 coworkers. So as a team of 3, we were doing 6 workstation installs all on the same day. And so we each took 2 workstations, and we had decided that we were each going to, before we even got on site, install Windows 10, run Windows updates, and create a local admin, all the same username and password. And then I told the coworkers when we were doing that, make sure we write that down in the notes so we have that, hostname, hostname, username, and password. So we have that all regularly available in case we need to. And then we went on site, and I worked on my 2 workstations while I was working on the stations and they were getting installed. I double checked on the other 2 guys, and they were checking on us, making sure that things were going smoothly, and if we needed any manual help on moving files over and stuff like that. In the end, we got it on done. We got all of them done. It was 2 or 3 hours ahead of budget and ahead of time as well. And so the client was really excited about that. They had 6 new workstations. We actually didn't have to come back at all, which was pretty rare. And I think it's because we took our time and did everything really slowly and really methodically, but just getting it done right the first time. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, one of the things that I've always was wondering about is in regards to the county and how that interacts with like the city. Because on the job description, it said that I'd be working with the county. Would I ever interact with the city IT group or anything like that? Would I be assisting them in any of their installs, or would it specifically be outside of like City of Fort Collins? Oh, perfect. Okay. Sure.
So it's something like that.
Sure. Okay. Okay.
As far as yeah, you're not gonna
Oh, right. Okay. Gotcha. That makes sense.
So,
Sure. Right. Okay. Okay. Cool. Another question that I had was like supervisor / management ranking, I guess, like who would be my supervisor and then their supervisor, that kind of idea, like just the general shape of the structure in regards to this position specifically. Yes, thank you. That's where I was looking for. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Cool. Okay. Would I report directly to the person above me? Is there any way that I'd be able to like communicate with the director at all, or would it just be I have to go through the organization structure? Okay. Sure. Okay. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Sure. Okay. For sure. Sounds good. No, I don't think so. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay.